Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Let's take a look at the headlines. The Prime Minister hands over documents ratifying the Arms Trade Treaty. Fiscal 2014 sees further investments from foreign energy companies. And plans being put in place to deal with Tobago's eroding coastlines. Thank you for joining us to our top story. Trinidad and Tobago has ratified the Arms Trade Treaty. Prime Minister the Honourable Kamla Persad-Bissessar deposited the instrument of ratification of Trinidad and Tobago to the Arms Trade Treaty. By this action, Trinidad and Tobago has formally expressed its consent to be bound by the provisions of the instrument. The Honourable Prime Minister said in this regard, Trinidad and Tobago has made its contribution towards the 50 ratifications that are required for the entry into force of the Arms Trade Treaty. In addition, she says her government is currently examining the country's laws to ensure that they are compatible with Trinidad and Tobago's obligations, which flow from the instrument. The Honourable Prime Minister says her government is reasonably convinced that the Arms Trade Treaty, once operationalized, will assist the global community in eradicating the scourge of the illegal arms trade that is largely also responsible for so much violence and loss of lives in many regions. Mrs. Persad-Bissessar assured the international community of the support of the government of Trinidad and Tobago for the early entry into force and the universalization of the treaty. In other news, Energy Minister the Honourable Kevin Ravnarine says plans for the oil and gas sector during fiscal 2014 will see further investments from foreign energy companies. He was speaking during the budget debate in the upper house.
Energy Minister Kevin Ravnarine says a recent Laura and Manatee field agreement includes a proposition with its Venezuelan counterparts for an additional percentage of their gas to be redirected to Trinidad and Tobago for processing. During his debate in the upper house, the Energy Minister says further discussion is expected to take place as Chevron, along with both nations, work together in creating the development plan.
We have also advanced, Mr. President, a position that the Venezuelans may want to consider some of their gas coming to Trinidad and Tobago, given the proximity of this country to the Laura and Manatee field and the well-developed gas transmission and processing infrastructure we have in this country. There is to date no agreement on this matter. This will be the subject of that development plan I referred to. Positions have been advanced by both countries. There are also 4 companies involved, and a key player in this entire process is Chevron, which has a presence on both sides of the border.
In giving once again a breakdown of the relations, the minister told members of the Senate of the rights this nation held to the gas field treaty.
The natural gas one is shared, Mr. President. That's the concept of production sharing between the government and the 2 contractors, BGTT and Chevron. So it is really 16.97 Government of Trinidad and Tobago plus 4.98 BG Trinidad and Tobago plus 4.98 Chevron Trinidad and Tobago to give you the grand total of 26.94. And there's some rounding there, but it's coming up to 26.93, but that's because using 2 decimal places. I hope this answers the misinformed allegation of the MP for Port of Spain South. Mr. President, it is also said that given the 2/3 majority needed for decisions by the directing committee, that we could be outvoted, as Trinidad and Tobago has 16.97%. Mr. President, there is, however, a right of veto that says that both governments must agree on decisions of the directing committee. If there is a decision, Mr. President, that we are not in agreement with, we can veto that decision, and in like manner, the Venezuelans can exercise a similar veto.
He says changes to the management of this country's natural gas resources through the fiscal regime has resulted in further investments.
For exploration, the existing initial and annual allowances have been replaced by a new allowance of 100% of exploration costs to be written off in the year the expenditure is incurred. This incentive will be applicable only for the period 2014 to 2017 to incentivize the companies to get out there and invest. For development, a grant of a first-year allowance of 50% of the expenditure, a second-year allowance of 30%, and a third-year allowance of 20%. This will be applicable to both plant and machinery, tangible and drilling of wells, intangible expenses.
The minister adds that plans for the southwestern peninsula will see the expansion of the port and creation of jobs.
The NEC has been mandated to conduct a study of the Brighton port, Mr. President. And that work on the Brighton Port upgrade, Mr. President, will commence in 2014 and will require, we are advised, dredging of that port to a depth of 15 meters to accommodate post-Panamax vessels, as may be required by Mitsubishi.
During this year's budget presentation, Finance Minister Larry Howai says there are plans to further expand the energy incentive taxation regime later this year. Kimberam Kalawan, News 4.
Government will provide scholarships to more than 400 students who performed extremely well in the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination, CAPE. This is the promise being given by the Minister of Education, Dr. The Honourable Tim Gopi Singh.
Dr. Gopi Singh, speaking at a recent post-cabinet news conference, says 428 students will receive scholarships this year. He says this is an increase from the number of scholarships given last year, a trend which the government has always aimed to improve upon.
Over the period of time from 2000, let's go back to 2009, 266 open scholarships, 266 scholarships were given from CAPE. 2010, 329, 2011, 354, 2012, 376, and this year, 428. So this government has been giving increased scholarships yearly from 2010 to 2013. So under this government, the People's Partnership Government, we have now given within our 4-year period 1,487 scholarships, 272 which are open, and 1,215 additional scholarships.
Minister Gopi Singh also notes there has been an improvement in the academic performance by pupils throughout the country.
We have moved from approximately 86% of the students achieving grades 1 to 5 in CAPE examinations to now approximately 93% obtaining grades 1 to 5 in the CAPE examinations. Out of the 3,500 students approximately who write CAPE, we're now giving out 428 scholarships, which is close to about 12% of the students who write CAPE are awarded scholarships, either open or additional.
The various subject areas where the scholarships will be awarded include environmental studies, business studies, general studies, modern studies, technical studies, technological studies, languages, mathematics, science, and visual and performing arts. Dr. Gopi Singh notes an improved performance from government secondary schools in the CAPE examination. He points out that 11 government secondary schools have received scholarships as compared to the 3 which received scholarships last year, a fact which he says shows promise for the public schooling system. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
When we come back, boosting agricultural lands in bamboo settlements. Stay with us. Government wants to boost agricultural lands in bamboo settlements, so says the Minister of Food Production, the Honourable Devant Maharaj.
Speaking at the revitalization of the Fisheries Demonstration Pond in Bamboo Settlement Aquaculture Demonstration Center, Minister Devant Maharaj said all the lands in the area remain agricultural land and falls under the remit of the Ministry of Food Production.
Fellas have TV station, car parts, place, all kind of thing in here now except agriculture.
He said that soon as he assumed the portfolio of Minister of Food Production, one of the early requests he made of the ministry was to address the issues affecting bamboo.
Into the discussion, eventually it led to a cabinet note being prepared and brought for cabinet consideration and approval. As you know, the challenge was that the original leaseholder of the mosque felt that they had a say in the name that should go on the lease.
The minister said the lease is a very significant instrument to the people of Bamboo Settlement.
What went to cabinet was that the The lease would be in the name of the Bamboo Jama Incorporated, the official name of the organization. So this promise has been delivered. I have a certificate. We get in the lease because anything with land and government is moved slow by 2. Government slow and land is moved slow. The minister will tell you. So it's slow by 2. So I'd like to invite the Imam to get a certificate of our promise, right, which is well on the way.
Minister of Legal Affairs Prakash Ramada was also at the function and says the bamboo settlement is ideal for growing agriculture.
A promise had been made a long, long time ago. A promise that was refreshed because others make promises without ever intending to fulfill them. But I, as a leader of the Congress of the People, partnering with the People's Partnership, we believe that to give your word is a sacred act and you must fulfill these things.
Joseph Lopez, News 4.
It is being hailed as an historic day in the higher education system of Trinidad and Tobago. This as the UTT and the Oracle Academy signed an agreement which allows both institutions to work together more closely towards their common goal. Minister of Tertiary Education Fazal Karim says this will give computer science students a competitive advantage as they prepare to enter the workforce.
UTT's partnership with Oracle Academy will assist the school in providing such resources so as to help awaken and beat student interest in this important field of study. Partnerships such as this one will form the basis of building capacity and to ignite innovation.
We have a particular mission, and our mission is really threefold and fits in with that. One, as our minister is keeping, to produce the appropriate human resource, not only in terms of numbers, but in terms of the competencies required by our labor market. Secondly, through our research, development, and innovation, to find solutions to the problems confronting us as a society. And I like to add a third one, to keep our people of Trinidad and Tobago one step ahead of our competitors.
Mr. Daya Narayan Singh says the event also fits in with a number of priorities, and one in particular, forging strategic alliances with other corporate partners and international stakeholders and research.
This is the third consecutive day for this week that we have been involved in activities such as this. On Monday, we signed a letter of intent with a top research institution in Japan.
Ms. Aurora Roque, president of the Oracle Academy, says the Academy's commitment is with education, granting students and faculty with software, curriculum, professional development, certification, resources, hands-on experience, Oracle database and technology. She noted, however, that today there is a challenge.
There is a global skills gap between the number of students graduating to computer science and the number of skilled computer science workers needed to support the global economy. The solution, we need more students. Students that needs to graduate with bachelor's degree minimum in computer science. We need more students to enter the computer science pipeline.
She adds that UTT is on this part and making sure the information technology curriculum is available for Trinidad students. The Oracle Academy is helping meet this challenge. The main goal is to give students a competitive advantage as they prepare to enter the workforce.
Whenever you ask a UTT student, are you job ready? The answer will be yes.
Addressing the gathering, Minister of Tertiary Education Fazal Karim commended and thanked the Oracle Academy for selecting Trinidad and Tobago as the country of talent.
We cannot afford to multiply the amount of graduates by simply bricks and mortar. It has to be the world of today in terms of the MOOCs, massive, open, online courses. It has to be Coursera, edX, Udacity, Future Learn, and Khan Academy.
The minister adds that only a few disciplines in today's world will open as many doors for students in the 21st century in the field of computer science and technology. Joseph Lopez, News 4.
When we come back with Sport Report, stay with us. The TT Pro League's first Citizens Cup is the nation's most popular football tournament with lucrative prizes available for teams and fans. The 2013 edition of the knockout competition was launched at the Hasely Crawford Stadium, and there was some good news for football enthusiasts from the Deep South. Wayne Cunningham has the details.
Top-level football returns to the borough of Point Fortin in South Trinidad as the first Citizens quarter-final is carded for the Mahaika Oval on Saturday, 28 September at 3:30 p.m. This was announced at the launch of the 2013 edition of the prestigious tournament. Also revealed was an attractive prize for the winners.
This year, the winner will take home $100,000 together with other incentives for all of our stakeholders. As we launch this tournament today, I wish all the coaches and players good success and may the best team win.
Mr. Warren Sugda of First Citizens shared the reasons for his organization's 11-year involvement with the Pro League.
At First Citizens, we firmly believe that sports contributes to individual progress and national solidarity. Sport brings discipline to life. Sport encourages dedication, teamwork, and camaraderie among sportsmen and sportswomen. All of the above-mentioned attributes are essential in our day-to-day living and contribute to our growth as well-rounded individuals.
He also had some good news for the fans.
To our dear spectators, you will be delighted to know that the traditional First Citizens Cup promotions are continuing this year. Dash for cash, if you recall. Each spectator will be given the chance to win $500 cash at the various matches. Biggest cooler crew. So stock right up. Groups will be given the opportunity of winning coolers of drinks at the semis and finals of the competition. And last but certainly not least, a lot of other giveaways to the spectators. To the energetic teams, ready for fair battle? You are fortunate in representing your respective communities. All the best in your quest for one of the most attractive cups in local football, the First Citizens Cup.
The Pro League is making a massive effort to take games back to the communities, hence the return to the Mahaika Oval.
This partnership has demonstrated how a strong brand fit, clear objectives, and mutually agreed strategies can deliver great results. We in the TT Pro League, each of us, must continue to accept full responsibility for the positive marketing of the league. No detail is too small. People wouldn't attend games unless we make them want to attend. The Pro League is about linking community and residing in communities, and our success is dependent upon us creating that link with our communities, and we are committed to this.
The first Citizens Cup 2013 kicks off on Friday with a doubleheader at the Hasely Crawford Stadium in Port of Spain from 6 p.m. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
Trinidad and Tobago's under-17 women's team must avoid defeat when they face the Dominican Republic in their final semi-final round CFU qualifying match in Port-au-Prince, Haiti on Wednesday if they are to progress to the final round in Jamaica. This comes after they suffered a 1-0 defeat to Bermuda in their second outing at the Silvio Couture Stadium on Monday. A lone goal by Aaliyah Nolan in the 50th minute did the job for Bermuda, which had defeated Dominican Republic 3-1 in their opening game and are now through to the next phase. TNT, which batted Grenada 10-0 in their earlier encounter, must now either win or draw to at least finish second in the group and keep alive their hopes of advancing to the final CONCACAF round in Jamaica. The 2014 FIFA Under-17 World Cup takes place in Costa Rica next year. More news after this. Plans are being put in place to deal with Tobago's eroding coastlines. At the Tobago House of Assembly's post-executive council media briefing, Works and Infrastructure Secretary announced that he has collaborated with the Ministry of Works for solutions to the problem.
Secretary of the Division of Infrastructure and Public Utilities, Mr. Hilton Sandy, disclosed that some of Tobago's coastlines are eroding, but his division has plans to deal with that problem. Secretary Sandy says he met with members of the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure in Trinidad recently to discuss ways in which the issue can be fixed.
So this meeting was to bring up the minds together on the way forward working together with the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure in Trinidad and the Division of Infrastructure and Public Utilities of the Tobago House of Assembly. And we will have decided that we will develop an MOU because, as you know, the construct of the Tobago House of Assembly Act, based on the 5th schedule, the Tobago House of Assembly is responsibility for 6 nautical miles out to sea.
He said coastal engineers are not available in Tobago and is rarely found in Trinidad, hence collaborating with the central government for expert advice on mitigating the coastline erosion.
And because we have the assistance now, we will surely accept that assistance from the ministry in Trinidad and use that opportunity to sort of develop our areas in Tobago.
He said the cost of developing the plans will also be a joint effort between his division and the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, but the execution of the work will be done by the THA once all systems are properly in place.
So we will have to go towards the Ministry of Finance to get funding to go forward with the projects after we bring everything together.
Reporting from Tobago, Patricia Nicholson, News 4.
And we take this opportunity to wish Assemblyman Sandy a very speedy recovery. And that brings us to the end of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Thank you for joining us.